Hello and welcome to the On Pointless podcast. I'm your host, Curt. Tonight's intro question is, what is your favorite dish that your mother used to make for you? Stefan?
I'm going to go with the classic mac and cheese.
My mum used to always make some nice beef bourguignon.
My mom could only really make two things, so I think it's spaghetti or salmon quiche. I'm going to go with quiche.
That's a pretty advanced meal to have as the second thing you can make, a salmon quiche.
I know, it's pretty incredible. I don't know what happened to the middle bits, but...
My mom used to make brown sugar microwave chicken. That's a personal favorite.
Oh, and with the soy sauce.
Yeah, brown sugar soy sauce microwave chicken.
Damn.
I like the name.
So our first question this week, wine and cheese nights have been outlawed. What two-thing combo do you replace them with?
Beer and nachos.
I was going to go beer and burger.
Beer just seems, it's too common of a thing. I want something completely different.
Water and saltines.
Ooh, water and saltines.
Oh, yes. I'm inviting some friends over this weekend. We're going to be having... I forgot liquids.
Denmark donkeys and Donairs.
Yeah, Denmark donkeys.
Denmark donkeys and
It's got the good
Donairs.
alliteration, too.
I do like a good alliteration.
Isn't it supposed to be like, oh, you just like snack on a little bit of cheese, so that's why you have it with friends like that?
Well, I think it's just a flavor combo that goes well together. Like, yes, you snack on it, but wine and cheese pair well. Well, it should have pears in it. I like pears. What if you had pears and pear juice?
Wow.
I don't know if they'd go together.
Yeah. They
Okay,
wouldn't complement each other.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. The drink has to be alcoholic or else you ruin the entire point of a wine and cheese night, which is to get kind of drunk around people you only sort of know so that you can form a stronger bond.
That's true. So, how about sangria? That's a very agreeable drink that you kind of make as a group thing together.
It's
That's just wine with juice.
That's just taking the whole night and throwing it in a glass.
Is that what sangria is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
that's
wine
why-
and juice.
That's why I don't like sangria.
Okay.
It's because you don't like wine or juice. So if we won't like the combination.
Yeah, it's too sweet. I mean, I'm allergic to cheese, too, so...
Whiskey and beef jerky.
Ew. That sounds like something you would find at a hipster bar.
Hipster bar.
Whiskey and beef
guess.
jerky's good, though.
I think you could go whiskey and something for sure, because there's all the varieties. Like wine has a bunch of varieties, cheese has a bunch of varieties. So if you have a bunch of varieties of whiskey and a bunch of varieties of smoked meat or jerky, you can do it.
If we combine everything that we've said, so we need an alliteration, we need an alcohol. Whiskey's classy, wine's classy, cheese is kind of a, higher end thing with variety. What if you went with scotch and salmon?
I feel like the scotch would overpower the salmon flavor.
It depends on the kind of scotch. Like if you have like a smoky scotch.
Then you just eat that with smoked salmon and there's just smoke on smoke.
Yeah.
Cigar too.
Wow.
Is there an alcohol that starts with a C? Because then you could have it with a charcuterie.
Charcuterie and...
I feel like charcuterie is like kind of cheating. There's
Yeah.
too many foods combined into just one word.
That's pretty much just cured meats.
And cheese, isn't it?
Nope. Just the meat.
Really?
Yeah.
Just meat.
Just meat.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't there crackers and like a jelly on there too?
Well, so does cheese. You always have something to eat it with.
But doesn't a charcuterie board specifically have crackers and jelly on it?
I have no clue.
Let's look it up. We can't get past this.
Got moonshine and marshmallows.
Moonshine and marshmallows around a campfire?
Yeah.
That's like the urban wine and or not
Country.
urban.
Yeah. The country.
The country
Less than
wine and
urban.
cheese.
What's
The anti-urban.
they should make a word. I don't know.
The campfire one?
Yeah, that's like the campfire wine and cheese night.
Yeah. Moonshine,
And
marshmallows.
And you,
Marshmallows are pretty overrated.
what? Marshmallows are super good.
I love sugar, but even those are just kind of like blah sugar.
I don't like sugar. I don't like candy. I can eat an entire bag of marshmallows.
You are an outcast in this scenario. Marshmallows are only interesting for their scientific properties, like how if you put one in the microwave, it gets really big and then it shrinks and gets hard like a rock. Or, the classic marshmallow on a campfire, as we've been discussing.
See, I don't really like marshmallows in a campfire as much. It's a pain. I'd rather just eat the raw marshmallow. And s'mores are completely overrated.
That's because you
Lord,
never
man.
have the chocolate.
Yeah, but
That's like half the fun of a s'more. Well, actually, a third of the fun of the s'more.
I would actually rank it higher. I would give it 80% of the fun.
Do you say s'more or s'more?
I was about to go back to that. You said schmore twice, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a s'more.
Maybe I'm thinking smorgasbord.
I think
That's
there's
also
an apostrophe.
Yeah.
That's also a smorgasbord.
Really? I thought it was smorgasbord.
It's-
Am I just making SCHs and everything?
I don't think there's a single word in any language that starts SHMOR.
Well, no, because even s'mores is just S apostrophe more.
Well, yeah, but it's not schmore.
I know it's not s'more. I'm just accidentally making s'mores out of everything. Because I want s'more.
I think what we've glazed over is the fact that the graham cracker is by far the best part of the s'more.
I agree. Graham crackers are delicious. What? Okay.
The only time they're good is in a s'more.
What?
When else do you eat a graham cracker?
Graham crackers are so good. When we used to go to the grocery store all the time, and I would just buy a box of graham crackers and eat them.
What do you do for food now that you don't go to grocery stores anymore?
Well, but like as a kid, like to watch movies, I would just we'd buy that box of honey-made graham crackers. I feel like graham crackers could easily replace the cheese. So then we just need something that pairs well with a graham cracker.
Graham cracker?
No, the cracker is what is not the cheese part. The marshmallow is the cheese part. The graham crackers, the other crackers.
Do you recall what the question is?
No, I do not.
We're talking about a wine and cheese night.
Yes, but when you have a cheese night, you also have some sort of crackers to eat the cheese. I also eat the melted ones.
Okay, so I'm going to pull the room. Stefan, have you ever been to a wine and cheese night?
No.
Alex, have you ever been to a wine and cheese night?
No, but I had one scheduled for tonight, but
You bailed.
I bailed.
Secret behind the scenes knowledge. That's where the question came from.
Okay, guess what? I've been to a wine and cheese night. I've been in places where we do catering for wine and cheese nights. I know it comes with crackers.
Chara is the most animated, and therefore she wins.
Yeah. Got my hands up in the air
Don't
and everything.
encourage her to be more animated than she already is.
Moving forward, all food will be one shape. What shape will it be?
Circle.
That's not a three-dimensional shape. I would assume you would want a three-dimensional shape so you could actually grab it. But I was going to go with banana because
So
the
you
shape of a banana.
So like a crescent.
Yeah, a crescent, but no, the banana is made perfectly to fit in the human hand. That's how you know God is real.
I'm surprised you didn't say triangles.
You know what? You spoiled it by saying I know what you're gonna say, so I went away from the triangle.
Ooh, I'm interested
The
though.
power of the triangle.
But
Well-
still, that's also a two-dimensional shape. So
I know,
we're
it's a
talking about a
pyramid.
triangular. Oh, a pyramid, not like a triangular prism Toblerone style
Well,
shape.
but for what it's worth, you say, most food is a two-dimensional shape. Yes, there's some depth to it, but I'm saying
what?
most...
Everything's just a sheet of paper.
Well, like a potato chip it's a circle. It's not a
Okay.
sphere. You don't need a
I don't think
spherical
you
potato.
understand.
No, I understand. I'm just saying it's not a 3D shape isn't even. Like, the 3D version of a triangle for food would not become a pyramid. It would become a triangle with some depth. Right? A 3D circle doesn't turn into a sphere automatically. It can be a circle with depth.
Sure.
So,
A cylinder is what you're referring to.
yeah, but I just mean specifically shaped like a triangle cylinder.
So would all your food just be chip shaped?
I think I'd make it star shaped because then eating would be fun. And surface area, because surface area equals flavor.
For chips.
No, for everything. The more surface area, the more sauce it can absorb, the more flavor it can absorb.
Well, then you do want to go with the Pringle shape. It has optimal surface area, pretty much.
That's true. What would you call that shape?
As a hyperbola. Nah. I'm really bad at imagining 3D shapes, but I think it is hyperbola. If you cut a circle, I guess it's more of an oval, into a hyperbolic plane, then you'll end up with a Pringle.
Yeah, that.
Of course, down the, I want to say the z-axis, depending on how your axes are labeled.
This question
How about
got...
Is everyone still awake? Hey, guys, wake up.
My label of my axis is goofy.
What about Teddy Graham shape? And then you can eat their heads off every time.
Oh, everything you make could be shaped like... Oh, you could pasta. You could have Teddy Graham pasta.
There are already things like that already.
What?
When have you seen teddy bear shaped pasta?
Not teddy bear, but there's been Powerpuff Girl spaghetti.
Alphagetti.
Oh,
The
forget.
Scooby-Doo ones.
Scooby-Doo ones.
Yeah, but
There's
Scooby-Doo
shaped pastas for everything.
Scooby-Doo pasta is not shaped like Scooby-Doo
No.
the dog. It's just curled noodles that twist twice.
No. I'm talking about Alphagetti's. They made a Scooby-Doo version where there's like all the different people's heads in the van.
I want all my food to be shaped like shaggy heads.
You get a lot of surface area.
Little tiny
There's a lot of
shaggy
hair.
head steaks on a plate with little tiny shaggy head mashed potatoes and tiny shaggy head coleslaw. This is awful.
Yeah, I
mental
guess-
image.
But I guess everything is shaped like that, right? So if you're eating a burger, it's not like, oh, you have a shaggy-shaped burger and a round bun. The bun is also shaggy-shaped, so everything would fit that dimension well.
Hold on. Do you get to scale things?
Yeah,
Or
you
is
can,
everything the
Like,
same size?
Yeah, like
exactly?
a raisin's not going to be the same size as a watermelon.
yeah, you definitely get to scale things.
But it's all going to be,
Okay.
just, I guess, disc shape.
What food would be the best if you could scale it up?
If you could scale it up, just
Like the giant
Like-
grapes.
Yeah, like a giant, like if you could have a grape that was the size of a cantaloupe, or like a cherry. I don't really like cherries, but like a big cherry, something like that. Like something you could just like size up for a small thing and then eat it. Like
I would think it would be something with like a good crunch to it, because then you could just like hit it with a hammer or something Gallagher style. Like Gallagher only went watermelons because it was the best option available to him. But if he was able to inflate any food to an appropriate size, surely he could have thought something better.
What do you mean, Gallagher?
Gallagher was a comedian, and his only real shtick was to hit things with a hammer, typically watermelons, and make them explode. And then he'd laugh like an idiot.
That doesn't sound that funny.
Okay,
After
you know
all,
Yeah,
Carrot.
well, you hadn't heard of him.
Yeah.
You know Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Picture where he got his inspiration from.
Please don't picture Carrot Top. Oh my God, have you seen Carrot Top lately?
He's back to small again.
Oh, he was just doing the steroids about like 10 years
That
ago.
I can never forget.
Yeah, now he's back to like a somewhat more normal size while still looking a little off.
He's probably in his 40s now.
I'm sure he's a great guy.
You see an ad online for a used rowboat. It's perfect. But it lists that they'll only consider interesting trades. What do you offer to trade for a rowboat that would be of equivalent value?
Canoe?
So you got a canoe and you're going to trade it for a rowboat?
Oaring just on one side is too tiring. I need to distribute between the two arms. Even it out.
You broke up with your partner. Now I need a rowboat.
What kind of quality is this rowboat?
I'm going to say classic 3-seat rowboat. One of those metal ones. No real rust damage. Only that one little drainage hole in the bottom. So in pretty good shape. One of the oars has a slight chip in it, though.
There's a drainage hole in a canoe? In a rowboat?
Yeah, typically boats have a little hole in them somewhere to drain.
What? I've never heard of this. I've also rarely ever been in a boat.
But yeah, so pretty good damage. One of the oars is slightly chipped. It
Pretty good damage.
Pretty good condition. It could use a bit of a paint job on the sides, like the blue paint that goes around the body of it. It's not in the best
Oh,
shape.
it's blue. I don't want it.
I personally am not overly concerned with the quality of the rowboat. More my absolute just lack of desire to own a robot.
A robot?
I would love to
What?
play a robot.
Hold on.
Well, what if it's a robot?
Can we change the question so we're talking about a robot now? Because
What?
then the stakes get way higher. Because
So-
I would be willing to trade things I still use to get a robot
So,
of
like-
medium quality.
So, like, you're going to turn into, like, Dr. Robotnik and collect robots?
Is that what he did? I don't know. There's no story to that game. He just runs fast. It's fine.
He just runs back.
So, you want to collect robot. You're going to have to trade up from a rowboat many times before you get a robot.
No, I want a straight one-to-one trade. I don't want to have to do this whole red paperclip nonsense. I'm going to give you my queen-size bed, mattress included. Give me your robot. What can it do? Can it do chores for you?
I think a queen-size bed could be traded for a rowboat, and I think a rowboat could trade for one of those old Nintendo Robbie the Robots.
I wouldn't take 18 robot. I keep saying robot. I wouldn't take 18 rowboats for my current bed. You can just find a rowboat. There are just rowboats strewn around on every corner around these parts.
As
You
opposed to
can't give them
beds.
away.
Beds are rare. It's not like you find multiple in every house, but rowboats...
I don't know that I've ever seen a rowboat on the corner.
I've seen lots of mattresses on the side of the road.
Fair point.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw a rowboat?
constantly. 3 hours ago, I was by the ocean.
Who rowboats in the ocean? Rowboats are strictly a lake boat.
No, that's not true. I feel like a lot of boats have dinghies, which are rowboats.
I guess so. When I think rowboat, I think of the classic, like, gray metal rowboat.
Never seen a gray metal rowboat in my life.
I saw one 3 hours ago.
On the ocean?
On the
No,
ocean.
on
the
every
ocean?
corner.
Oh,
On the
yeah.
corner.
There was one washed up on the beach right by my house, and then there's 2 more washed up on a different beach by my house, and they said free on them.
So 3 rowboats. You're 5 away from a robot.
No.
Is it a 8 to 1 ratio?
I
That's
think
what he said
a
earlier,
bed
I think.
for a robot is fair.
But what type of
I
robot?
said a
It's
middling
like a Roomba?
robot. No, you have to be able to program it to love. That's all I want.
You think about people like in universities have been having robotics lab and all that, and have millions and millions of dollars of funding, but your used queen size mattress in bed is going to get you an equivalent amount of robot.
Here's my concern,
yes.
is that, sure, he traded his bed for a robot that he can teach to love, but now he doesn't have a bed to love it in, so...
No, that's not what I meant, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's what he meant.
Love.
Wow, Stefan wants to sleep with robots.
I don't want to trade for our used love robot, okay? Good lord, I'm buying that new.
On the plus side, it's easy to cut the word "don't" out of a sentence.
Yeah.
Editors hold all the power.
Damn it. I want to trade for our used love robot.
Wow, Stefan, I can't believe you said that.
Curt is a really awesome guy.
Reinvent the toothbrush, please.
No.
Apparently not.
Circular. Because you're supposed to go in circles anyways. So if the head was the size of both rows of teeth,
So a giant circle, so like a polishing...
yeah, just...
Are we supposed to reinvent, like, because it's already been done, the electric toothbrush is far superior to a non-electric toothbrush.
Ooh,
I think
Am I supposed to reinvent that?
Yeah, I think starting from scratch. I think Alex has a good point here. So picture it. If you had a round circle with like a stick sticking out of the middle, and then you pressed a button, it expands, so you like put it inside your gums, and you press the button, and the end like fanned out, so then it was like the size of both your teeth.
Yeah, and so it was like 2 circles. The brush is like inside outside, so it encompasses the whole tooth.
Yeah.
And then maybe another button that rotates it for you.
Yeah, so you like put it in, it like, you press a button to expand it, and then there's a button you can press. You know like those little kids' fan toys where it's like, it's just a button where pressing it moves it like to the left and then releasing to the right. So you just keep pressing it, and it doesn't have to be powered, it just makes that action. So
Mechanical.
so you put it between your teeth, so it's like encapsulating both of them, and just move it around while pressing the button.
Do you think people would have stronger thumbs then from pressing that every day?
You'd probably have one arm that was way stronger too.
You don't alternate?
Just like Roger
I guess you
Federer.
could alternate, but have you ever brushed your teeth left-handed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I don't think I've ever tried that.
It feels real bad.
It does.
Yeah, I guess I've had right hand
It doesn't
injuries.
feel like someone else is doing it. That's a total lie.
Yeah, I was eating applesauce with my left hand yesterday. It was weird. I didn't spill any.
So fundamentally, you still have a brush here. So I want to take this to a scientific place, the world of chemistry. Here's my idea: you have some kind of tablet that you place on your tongue, and then you take a syringe full of another chemical. I'm no chemist, so I don't know exactly what it is, and you squirt it in your mouth, and then a chemical reaction occurs that fills your mouth up with like some kind of expanding foam. And then you let it set, and then you just kind of pull it out of your throat, and it takes everything out of your mouth except your teeth.
So like
It just
Kind-
cleans your teeth.
kind of like those things
Yeah.
you're supposed to use to clean keyboards with, the like goo that you put on it.
No, the foam thing that you like what you used to do for teeth impressions.
Yeah, it's basically like that, except it has to be way more intense
Yeah, like
to actually
it
get the plaque
cleans
off. It has to like
Yeah,
peel away the
because
top
it's
layer
using
of
chemistry
your
instead
enamel.
of using chemistry instead of physical.
I don't know how it would be getting that past your teeth, but I do feel like pulling that out of your mouth would be the most satisfying feeling of
That's
getting
your.
it
Oh,
out.
for the love of God, do not forget to put the anti-choking tube in before you squirt the syringe.
Yeah.
That is right on the front of the box in big, bright red letters.
This gel would smell horrible too. Like once it scraped everything out of your mouth, it would be the most disgusting thing. What are we gonna do with these giant gel hardened balls now.
Just throw it out. You spit out
You
your
flush it
toothpaste.
down the toilet, and then
I feel
someone
like it
else
would-
has to worry about it.
No, if it's a solid thing, you don't want to put that in the toilet. It'll clog
It
up.
dissolves probably.
So you invented this, yet you're not going to go on a limb and say that it definitely dissolves?
I don't know the limitations of chemistry
I'm
off
gonna
by
go.
heart.
I'm gonna go with light. You just have a wand that's a light, and you put it in your mouth, and the light destroys the plaque and the gingivitis.
So it's like powerful enough to destroy plaque, but not too powerful to destroy enamel.
Yes, very sweet spot.
Is this just radiation?
Well, isn't everything?
Yeah, it's just the different wavelengths. We're gonna find the perfect wavelength.
How long have you been testing this? Because if it's not for 40 years, I'm never using it.
So sorry.
Oh
when
yeah,
did
but
you
you're
start
gonna use the foam. They have to have an anti-choking thing. You're gonna give that to
It
your.
only takes 12 seconds,
You're gonna give
and
that
then
to
you
your.
never have to go to the dentist.
Give that to your
It
2-year-old.
also counts as flossing.
How does it get between your teeth?
Aggressively.
Our next question is a situation that we all may find ourselves in one day. There is an alien in a room. You are given 1 minute to make first contact. What do you do?
Say hello. Because I'm assuming whatever technology they have to get them here, they probably have a means of communication. Because they've probably been watching us for a while.
What if our form of communication is so primitive that it's threatening?
Well, I would do it with a smile.
Well, what if in their planet, smiling means they're about to eat you?
No, because if they made it here, if we found aliens, you think we would just go right into it? No, we would watch them for a while, and then we would figure out something where we know at least a baseline of their
Yeah,
communication.
try and study them before you try and make contact. Otherwise, it's pointless.
But what if we didn't have the chance to study them and we just had to make a guess? What's the least threatening
I
thing
see.
you can
You're
do?
like Joe Schmo. You didn't know you were going to have this opportunity. You just stumbled into a room and there happened to be an alien in there.
Yeah, you're
Right.
Joe Schmo, you didn't know, and now you have to go. So
My initial impulse is that I would juggle for it.
juggling's pretty non-threatening.
Exactly.
I would sit down, cross-legged, with my hands like on my knees, so I wouldn't seem threatening. If you're
what was-
shorter, it's better.
What was the time limit?
1 minute.
Oh, that's not enough time to call Roger Federer.
Oh yeah.
Earth's ambassador.
Raj, we need you. Do a press conference with this alien. Charm him with your wily good looks and your one arm that's much larger than the other.
What if you just walked in, hands on your hips, turn sideways, give him a stare, put the 2 fingers to your eyes, point directly at his eyes, and then start doing the YMCA?
Does he have eyes?
I don't know if they have those letters.
Also, would the letters look right from the side? I don't think they would. He would just see like a line.
How do we even know how the alien sees?
Do you think his green is the same as
Maybe
our
he just
green?
senses heat. Maybe I would just generate the most heat I could, which would probably be by doing the YMCA anyways, because I'm so horribly out of shape.
The YMCA is probably the greatest dance ever invented.
What about the Macarena?
Good God, you guys picked horrible dances.
Well, but okay.
Proclaim as the greatest dances ever.
Okay, here's how I'm going to measure this.
Michael Jackson, ever heard of him?
Yeah, no, that's something that everyone can do. That's why we do it at the weddings, because everyone feels they're included because they're part of it.
I would like you to find one person who's never done the YMCA motion.
The alien.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm pretty sure the one person part takes the alien out of the
I
equation.
believe in equal rights.
Are you saying that aliens aren't people too?
No.
Good.
Screw the purple people.
I want to
As
go on
Mitch Hedberg
record.
once said.
Thanks, Mitch. Got to draw the line somewhere.
I just want to go on record and say that I think aliens deserve equal rights as humans, if not more.
Yeah.
Let's just have that on record.
Maybe try and see if you can find any hidden cameras, because you'd assume you're being pranked, because you're just finding an alien. Do you know it's an alien? Or do you just walk into a room and there's something weird there? Do I think it's a movie prop?
You tell me.
I would not believe that it's a real thing.
You're just like looking for the panel in the wall for Ashton Kutcher to jump out of and be like, pranked ya, or whatever he said on that
Punked.
show.
I think that show was called Pranked Ya.
No, it was punked.
No, it was Pranked Ya.
Pranked ya with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
You've been ex-punked.
X gonna give it to you with Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah, realistically, I'd probably say hello, and if they just like stood there and didn't move, I'd probably walk over and like poke.
You could poke it?
You walk in and there's a weird looking, like, how big is this alien? Like, is it human sized?
Sure.
So
somewhere between E.T. and Shaq.
I mean, that's a range right there.
Yeah, human size, somewhere between E.T. and Shaq.
If it's Shaq sized, I'm not going over to poke it.
But if it's E.T. sized, you would?
E.T. sized, I'd say hello. And if it stayed completely still, I still believe it will know English and it will respond and we'll have a great conversation and then we'll go from there. Ask it how's it going, you know, talk about the weather. But if it stayed still and didn't say anything, I'd walk over and poke it and see if it's alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Could be a statue.
It's just 1 minute, though. That's not nearly enough time for me to compose myself
Yeah.
to do anything.
We've got 1 minute to save the world.
No, you got 3 minutes, Madonna. It's a song.
I had no idea that was Madonna.
There was a Madonna song, yeah. And she sang it with someone. Was it Timberlake? Something like that? No.
Elvis Presley, I think.
Yeah, it was an Elvis Presley Madonna duo.
Yeah.
Little duet, if you will.
Risen from the grave, Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not risen if you're never there.
Oh my gosh.
Bubba
Is
Hotep.
the alien actually Elvis?
Ooh, the king. Whoa.
Shit. I hate it. And cut.
Whoa. If you could be given all of the credit, but none of the money for any invention, which would you pick?
Sliced bread.
Viagra.
That was two very different directions.
You want all the credit, but none of the money?
Yeah.
Well,
So, like, you can say, you know, I'm waiting for someone to invent the greatest thing since what I did. Because you invented sliced bread.
Right? And it would be very hard to profit. Like, originally you'd get some money from it. But
Speaking of
it's
very
you
hard.
can't really trademark sliced bread, right?
Yeah.
Everyone slices bread now. They're not all paying royalties to Joe Sliced Bread.
Whoa.
That's
What
true.
if you just went with bread?
Yeah, but then
That's
whoever
tough.
comes up with sliced bread is better than you.
If you invented the sandwich, it could be called the Curt.
Whoa, you get to rename whatever you invent?
Well, you get all the credit for it, and the guy who invented the sandwich was the Earl of Sandwich, so it was named after him, which means his credit was the naming. So yeah, it would be renamed to you.
And he got none of the money because you can't make money off just something called sandwich.
Exactly, like Subway. They're broke.
This is tough. Mm-hmm. If you pick something that was invented well before you were born, for instance, the sandwich, I would guess that it would have to be invented by you at some point. So you're depriving a lot of people from history from having sandwiches.
I feel like they would just have it. It's just that you would get the credit for it.
You retroactively
They
got
just
that.
don't know who they're giving credit to until you're born.
Well, no, they're like giving credit to you, but you're just not born yet. It's like how you give credit to a person in the past. They're not alive now. It's just the reverse. You're giving credit to someone in the future. They're just not alive now.
So it's like
Would there be a
it's like
prophecy?
in Back to the Future when Marty's parents give credit to him for helping conceive him.
Exactly, even though he wasn't ever there. Right, he's not alive then.
Okay, so you get to go back in time. That's what I'm reading into this as. You get to go back in time to invent the thing.
Yeah.
If it was invented before you're born.
Sure, but you're just not alive until you're alive.
Okay, here's a nice loophole. So now we just need to pick an era of time we want to go to and something that was invented in that time. We've just loopholed your question to a time travel question.
But what if you invented the flushing toilet, i.e. the crapper, by John Crapper, and you could call it the Curter, and forever be like, I'm gonna go take a Curt.
That doesn't seem desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that. People would talk about me all the time.
And you're such a piece of Curt.
The world would be so much more colorful.
Oh boy.
Oh, and then instead of it being a crapshoot, could it be a Curt shoot?
It would have to be.
And then people would roll Curts instead of craps?
Is it crabs?
I thought it was crabs. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, it's craps.
I don't know if it's
never been a great name.
I don't know if it was related to the term or not, but I'm just going to say that anything named crap is now Curt, and anything named Curt is now crap.
It's an evolution. You can never predict how, the butterfly effect will occur.
Wonder what happened to carps.
Nothing at all. Too far away. Not an exact match. Next.
Would then all the people named Curt then become named Crap? Because crap wouldn't have a negative connotation.
I guess so.
Whoa. You
Crap
just be
is?
crap, Derrick.
Crap Derrick. That could be my new name. Same number of letters. What's another really good invention, though, that you'd want to be credited with?
Hold
The
on.
light bulb.
Ooh, the light bulb's one that people still talk about. Like,
Yeah.
if you go back to things where you actually know the inventor, I think that's a good way to look at the source, because then the credit for that actually matters.
That's why I like the sliced bread, because everyone's like, oh man,
Greatest thing
they
since
said
sliced bread.
But
Yeah,
who invented
no one
sliced
knows
bread?
who invented it anyways,
Well,
so you're
now
not really
you would
getting
have
any credit.
Alex would have all the credit. He'd be like, the greatest thing since Alex invented sliced bread.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. I think people say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek when they are implying that sliced bread is like so awesome. Like it's the awesomest thing they could possibly think of.
I think when it became common lingo, it was great.
At the time, there was a point in history where sliced bread was the best thing that existed.
Yeah.
I'll grant you that.
Oh.
It is no longer.
That's not even that long ago,
Wait,
which
what?
sucks.
What thing got invented? Do you think that finally surpassed sliced bread? Because sliced bread probably held the title for the longest of any individual thing, and then it's just been
The computer?
flip flopping around.
The phone?
Wow.
The
You
smartphone?
don't think the automobile ousted it? Even
I don't know, man.
I'm actually kind of more
the
curious.
aeroplane.
The planes and automobiles were before sliced bread.
Yeah, sliced bread
Betty
was
White is older than
What?
sliced bread.
Yeah, sliced bread is definitely newer than that.
What?
Sliced bread is
Why
like
didn't you stop me? I've been making an ass of myself for the
Sliced
last
bread's like
3 minutes.
The 30s or something?
something like that, yeah.
Good
Because
lord.
they didn't. First of all, you made your own bread most of the time, and they didn't have a slicing machine. You would just
Okay,
slice
well-
breads individually.
There's an important implied question here, which is what held the title before sliced bread?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, is that becomes an interesting question. Maybe it was loafers, but then loafers hated being called loafers that made loafers, so then they went to work in the loaf factory where they could be loafers because they loafed loaves of bread into slices.
That's airtight.
I've always had sliced bread. It was always weird to not have pre-sliced bread.
I always just tear hunks out of my bread and shove them in my gullet.
You just
I
get
like that you used gullet. That seems appropriate.
I thought more people did this.
like from a whole bread.
Yeah.
Well, would that only be like when you get like a fancy baguette or fancy bread? If you buy bread
Nah.
at the store for your
Nah, I do it
you
old school. I do it 20 style.
twins.
The only time I get, like, if I get a loaf of French bread, then you have to cut it.
Yeah.
Because then you can decide the width, which is nice if you're making French toast.
I always end up picking a poor angle because whenever they cut it for you, they cut it at like a really good angle, so the pieces are actually a reasonably large size, so you can put like, ooh, some nice cheese and meat on there. But I always go with too shallow of an angle, and then it's too small to make a legitimate sandwich with.
Do you think the
Just as an
French...
aside.
So do the French just not have sliced bread? Because French bread is always a whole loaf.
Yeah, baguette.
Oh yeah, they have actually there's laws in France where you have to make bread twice a day.
That is the most
Morning.
made up thing I've ever heard.
No, so that people could buy fresh bread in the morning, or in the people in the afternoon can buy fresh bread in the afternoon.
Are you just trying to get a rise out of me?
Every individual person has to make bread twice a day.
No,
France.
just bakeries.
Do they have, like, the bread police that
There
goes
is
around?
a bread police.
Man, I think you made that in the morning.
Yeah.
Gonna
So
have
they
to
have
write your
fresh bread.
citation here.
What do you do with
because
all the extra bread? Do you just donate it?
They also have laws that you can't throw out food.
Stay strong.
But do they really need that much bread? And at the grocery store, do you buy it on its own, or do you have to bag it?
Oh, pumpernickel.
Yeast!
Stefan, don't leave!
Stefan has left the room. Thanks again for listening to the On Pointless podcast. And as always, if you have suggestions for us, please feel free to email them to onpointlesspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.
Bye.